The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
And once again, welcome to the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. Today we have a special guest. We're going to be doing hidden gems. We're going to be doing hidden gems of America today. And today we have Morgan Woodberry. She is the first black woman chairperson of the Rutherford County Democratic Party. And this is an honor to meet you. I'm glad when I meet you in person, but this is an honor to meet you. So how you doing today?
Thank you. I'm good. It's nice to meet you as well. I'm ready to get started.
Okay. Well, the first half of the show, before we get to the juicy stuff about what's going on in Tennessee politics, I want to talk about a little bit about yourself. You know, what are your past? What brought you to politics? What are you bringing to the table when it comes to Rutherford County Democrat Party?
Oh, for sure. So, my background is in social work. That's what I have a degree in. I have 2 degrees in social work, and I work in fraud. That's my career background. But as I was studying and learning things, it became very apparent to me that, social work is very much done on an individual level. That's what most people think about, or they think, social workers are come to take their kids and things like that. Mm-hmm. But if you think about it, social work is at an entirely different level, including the macro level. And so that is kind of what led me to politics after I graduated in 2021 from MTSU. I got an opportunity. Someone from the Democratic Party reached out to me. They saw that I was a consistent voter, and they were like, "Hey, we think you would be great to run in this position. We think you would be an excellent candidate." And so I just started listening, paying attention, which I always did, but I started to pay attention specifically to what the local party was doing. And I started to see there was a real area of opportunity for minorities, women, and for youth, which is all of the things that I identify with, right?
Mm-hmm. Now you did run for election in 2022, right?
Yes, I did run for election in 2022 for District 49 State House Rep.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that, your journey on that, because you lost to Mike Sparks.
Right, I did. Excellent race and excellent experience. I would say that during my race and my time, I think I was really underestimated, including by my opponent. And I really just started to see that in this area, in this district, we need somebody that is a little more modern, a little younger, a little more with the times, I'm going to say, and somebody that's willing and ready to work. And, the reason I decided to go against Mike Sparks is because I felt like there was more that could be done. There's always more that can be done, and I'm the person that's going to do more. Okay. So that was, my entire motto of running. The other reason for me going ahead and running is because a lot of the people that I graduated from Lorraine High School with, or that I moved from the local high schools, or that are currently on MTSU campus, they have kids, they're growing up, we're buying houses, we're getting married now. It's us that are really being affected by all of these changes, and we all have a problem with it, but we're not doing anything about it, right?
Right. See, the last time I worked for a campaign, it was a guy named Superwolf. He was a DJ out of Jackson, Tennessee, and it's a very interesting thing to run for a seat or office, and you coming out of college when you first ran. I can imagine it was scary. Or how did you get your boots on the ground? Did you start just locally with your friends and family, or how did you actually jump into the arena?
For sure. major shout out to Kathy Watts. She is the past chair. She was chair before I was voted chair. She has an outreach team, I believe, that consists of Darlene, Laura Bowling, and a few others, but those three ladies reached out to me. They invited me to a Dem convention, and they put me, Mariah Phillips as well, they put me in front of everybody that I needed to know, and they started to give me a little more confidence. Like, I'm a natural born outspoken person, but as a Black woman walking in a room with people that don't look like you and people that you don't know are really on your side, they very much made it comfortable for me. And as I started to, meet more people, I started to, again, just gain another level of confidence and start to see, like, this is a realm that I can fit in, and this is a realm that I can do some good in. And so that was the good part of it. Now, the bad part of it is being able to walk in adversity, being able to balance my time, because I still work, right? I still have obligations and things like that. So it was really much an eye-opener for sure. I always said I wanted to write a book about it because, if I'm being very, very blunt and honest, the biggest thing for me was the lack of preparedness from Knoxville all the way to Memphis. And the reason I say that is not to down my own party, but it is just the fact that Republicans remind Republicans that they are Republicans every day of the year.
Yeah.
And it's not that Dems don't, but we do not do it with the organization, with the preparedness, and with the polish that Republicans do in this state.
Yes.
And it's because they have continued to dominate. The other part of that, right, is we don't have the needed relationships with the other minorities that are within our area. And when I say minorities, I do not mean skin tone. I mean, yes, if you're Black or brown, yes, if you're Muslim, yes, if you're Asian, yes, if you're LGBTQ+, yes, if you, any of that. Those are people that are considered different and who are not cared about or thought about. And it's crazy because even though that is the fact, when you talk to most Dems or when you talk to most people, they assume that each one of those people that fit within that category or those umbrellas are automatically Dems. And they're not.
Right.
You still need to work to against them. You still have to be consistent, and you still have to show up for them. We don't do that on a consistent basis. We have each individual county doing whatever they're going to do, and we don't look uniform. We don't look prepared. Even if we are, we do not appear that way.
Yes, and you're right about that. I've seen where you have gays come out for the Republicans, and you have Hispanics come out for the Republicans. Even though Trump, I don't really think he likes Hispanics, to be honest with you, but they come out for the Republicans, and I look at it as because they have this dynamic system where they use monetary means and how can I put it? They use a certain type of gameplay, and it pulls these people in, and it's a little bit of I'm not going to say just straight bigotry, but it's a little bit of scare tactics too. The other side might do this, so you need to vote for us.
The other thing about that too is when you're talking about predominantly Hispanic countries, that is the way they vote. So there are big, again, opportunities for us to do better. Example, when you go to vote, I don't know if most people know this, but there's no translator. There's not one translator for anything else. It's English or nothing. And the thing about that is, if you do come with a translator, you're more than welcome to bring a translator. They have to sign a document that says they will not sway you. There's no way to guarantee it. There's no way to know that. There's nobody out here talking to them. And I mean, these different communities are making relationships with them to say, hey, wait a minute. Did you know this is actually what's happening? Did you know this is actually what that rep did? Did you know? And that's where that's where the lack is.
I'm gonna tell you another thing that I've seen too with the Republican Party, not just in Tennessee, but see, I travel all over the country. I'm a truck driver, and I have a studio built into my truck, so I see a lot of online presences, like the algorithm on some of these social sites. Whenever you drive into a state, the algorithm will automatically put local politics onto your sites. So I'm looking at online presences, and I don't see it with the Democrats. It's like the Democrats is more about social issues. The Republicans is more about money, and it's a very different. They relate to each other because sometimes social issues can cross into money issues, but they keeping it straightforward. And
Right.
and what are you gonna do to change that?
Yeah, excellent question. So I think that I agree with you. I would add a few other categories in there, but I do agree with you. I do think that money is a big thing for the Republicans, and that's why I said what I said earlier, because they fundraise year round. They do stuff year round. And it's not to say that we don't, but we, especially locally, a lot of the people that come are people that have been coming, or people that are, been friends for years, or, it's a very lax kind of community with the local Dems. And I would say with some of the other, Dems as well, like Nashville cannot be the only county or the only area that gets up and puts up a job, and they're not. Again, I'm not saying they are, but they are the main focus of that. Like, we have main focus points in Tennessee, and so I think that it's important that we start to have main focus points in each county, in each district, in each all of that, because if we have a group that we can refer to in District 37, we don't have to think about it. District 37, get your folks together, start knocking doors, or District 37, start getting people together to call your rep. It's your rep, this, that, and third. It is being able to be ready and stay ready so we don't have to get ready. I think that as Democrats lose a lot of momentum because we got to get ready.
Right. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I think it's that, and then I think you are right when it comes to the social issues. Democrats say they are for the people. However, being for the people also means holding people accountable. It also means having a certain level of organization, and it also means being able to do those things like fundraise year round so that we don't have to blow people up at the end or at the beginning of the cycle, or just expanding the way that we deal with the community and the way that we educate them so they can be aware. A lot of the people, especially in my generation today, feel like their voices don't matter. They feel like their votes don't matter. They feel like it doesn't matter. Nothing they say or do does matter, and I want them to know that that's not true. So we have to formulate a plan in a way that is accessible to let people know this is how you do it.
And I did a show about 2 years ago talking about how since the Civil War, they have been placing their kids into politics. And a lot of us on the Democrat side, I've seen the difference. Like, we want our kids to run that football hard, play that basketball hard, get that trophy. Yeah, mom, I love you, mom. But even though they play sports and stuff like that too, they focus, like say when I was in high school and I saw a young man drive his car to school that his parents bought from him. His parents might have had a pawn shop, and their parents vote for Republicans. And then when you see the dynamics of a black family or a white family that vote Democrat, and their kids riding the school bus, you see the patterns in that. And I think there should be a bigger drive to get young adults more in tune to politics on our side, because it pushes them like that. Is there anything like that you guys are doing for the youth, like putting them in places where they can understand more about politics and economics, dealing with that?
Yeah, we have a few different things. We have young Democrats all over the state of Tennessee. We have MTSU Dems. They are, of course, on campus. They're their own org, but they do have a seat and a vote at the Rutherford County Party.
Mm-hmm.
And so I high level believe in expanding that. I would love to work with some of the other frats and organizations on campus, especially those orgs that require volunteer hours. I would love for them to know that they can come and get sponsorship or come be an intern and learn what it is that we're doing, because there's a future. They have the new ideas. They know what's going on. They see things differently. They're a fresh eye, but they don't get the respect that they deserve because, they're young. That is a big problem that we have in the country, in the state, and in the county.
Yes. We're going to take a brief break for this commercial break, and then we'll get back. We're going to get into some of the more juicy stuff that's going on in Tennessee. All right. We'll be back, people.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
And we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. We have on the phone Miss Morgan Woodberry, the first black female chair of the Rutherford County Democrat Party. And we're having a good conversation, people. You guys in Rutherford County, listen up. We got a new sheriff in town. Okay? Okay, now, I want to get into some of the more, not local politics with us here in Rutherford County, but statewide. Because Tennessee is starting to act up now. They're starting to act like Texas and Florida and Georgia. You know, Georgia just had that bill they passed where they can rein in the district attorneys to protect their people. You don't see something like that coming here for us in Tennessee, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really funny that you said starting to act up. Tennessee been acting up. They've been this, and that's just a fact. It is a fact if you look at the history, if you pay attention to the laws they've been passing, it's just become at another level this year. This year has become the year of exposure, and people are being exposed, and you can't hide from it, you can't run from it. The way that the system is now, or the way that things are, is set up for the good old boys to protect themselves. That's why people or politicians put their kids in, politics. That's why they appoint certain people, or they have special appoints. That's been going on since the beginning of time.
Mm-hmm.
That's always happened. They say that, they've reined in corrupt politics, but that's not true, and I'll tell you why. Internal investigations. Why do we have internal investigations on our law enforcement, and there are different levels of law enforcement? Why doesn't the FBI locally investigate a local thing, or why doesn't Davidson County investigate a Rutherford County thing? That would make more sense. Why don't we have a national or statewide database? It's because there is so much red tape between what are they called? Departments can work with what departments, or who has jurisdiction with what in the states or in the law enforcement. It's that way for a reason. There's very little checks and balances for a reason. So I'm not surprised by that, and I wouldn't be surprised if stuff like that was starting to be pushed here. We see with the Tennessee 3, the expulsion, the way that people turned on people who are vocally speaking out for 9-year-olds. 9-year-olds, and these are not black kids. These are 9-year-olds that were at a private school.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I was just about to talk about that. How they, Justin Jones, Gloria Johnson, and Justin Pearson. I think they're from the districts in Nashville, Knoxville, and Memphis. And and you can clearly see how the 60-year-old Gloria Johnson, she wasn't kicked out of the state. But the 26-year-old, he's 27, and the 28-year-old, both black men, they were kicked out. And she's helped pass 15 bills. So that means she has a working relationship with some of those Republicans that tried to kick her out. But still, I still believe that her skin tone had something to do with that, not being removed.
Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree with that. She didn't even disagree with that. But I will agree with you as well. Justin Jones, a lot of people don't know, Justin Jones has a history of protesting. He has a history of speaking out. So that response from him was excellent. It was needed, but I think that they took that opportunity for him and Justin Pearson, being that they are new members, they took that opportunity to dismiss them because they don't want that type of energy on the floor, because they know that type of energy can spread like wildfire.
Yes, it can. Go ahead.
It did. If they have people down there, you have kids walking out of school to come tell you as their legislator, I'm scared. I need you to protect me. But this is the thing that continues to boggle my mind, right? We have the right to speak freely, we have the right to protest, we have the right to do all of that. But we punish those who do when they do not speak out in the way that Republicans feel like we should. And that's not fair. That is not freedom of speech. That's not our constitutional right that we have worked so hard to earn and deserve.
That's right.
Everybody else was given that. We worked for that. So I felt like Justin Pearson and Justin Jones, they worked for that. They worked for us, and so did Gloria Johnson. Mm-hmm. And there are others down there that are working. You have Benson Gibson. You have all the members of the Black Caucus. They're down there working, but people don't see because they are not as vocal. They work and they do things that are there to help us, but we need more of that younger energy to get out there and be loud, to get out there and be able to relate to the crowd. And the reason that they were expelled is because that's the exact opposite of what Republicans want. I'm watching videos of these kids talking to their representatives saying, this is why I think rifles or military grade guns are bad. This is why we need to ban that. This is why teachers don't need guns. This is why we need bulletproof glass. This is why these are 16, 17, 18, and younger. Right. Telling you, articulating to you as a representative, I need your help. And they are listening to these kids cry, scream, shout, and going in there and voting to do the exact opposite.
Yes, I agree. The whole gun law issue, I agree with you 100% that these military grade guns don't need to be out here. Any gun expert will tell you it only takes 2 or 3 shots for a gunfight. A handgun for self-defense is all normal citizens really need. You don't need to have ARs and all of this stuff running around here with you can buy 50 cases of bullets at one time. You don't need all of that, you know.
And that's why they have the names they have: hunting rifles, military rifles. Mm-hmm. That's why they have those names. It's in the name of what they are supposed to be used for. And my entire thing about that, let's go straight to the shooting. A lot of the members of our current house right now are saying, hey, it's a mental health thing, because this person identified as transgender, they consider that to be a mental health issue. Let's talk about that, because I've heard people scream that out forever, but you know what? Tennessee does not have an emergency mental health response. They don't. And I'll tell you what they do. if you have an officer that happens to be able to identify that somebody is having a mental health break or issue, then they call the ambulance. The ambulance will take them and forcibly put them in a psych ward for 72 hours, 48 hours, and then if they are not forcibly held, they will be dropped off wherever they were, picked up at whatever time. That's the emergency response that we have. When you it's just blatant. It's blatant that these reps are happy to have blood on their hands. They're happy to be up to their neck in blood because they don't do anything to change it. They don't do anything to push for something new. And you know when you see the donation list and the NRA is on there. You know when you see certain donations are coming through those campaigns. You know when you hear like you can see the appearance and the things that they post. You have members posted up with their whole family with guns. And these are kids.
Right.
These kids aren't even old enough to have a gun or hold a gun or buy a gun. But you let them, you're not going to jail, you're not in trouble.
Now I will tell you this, though. From that perspective, their perspective, it's a lot of fear. And not necessarily fearing the government, but they fear the changes that's coming to America, and that's why they arming up like this. And you know, we have Fox News and certain programs that's pushing that fear on these people. You can see the uptick every time they push a crazy story out there. They're going to take your guns. Nobody's advocating for taking all of your guns. You know, just the military grade guns, but they pushing that fear out there to these people, and that's what's making them not do what they know they need to do.
But this is my question, right? Why is that a fear? When you look at other countries that do not have gun-bearing laws, that do not let their citizens bear guns, they have less crime, they have less death, they have less issues, because America is a greedy country, and the most people that are out here shooting and killing, whether they're black, white, from the hood, or blue collar, white collar, whatever, most of the things are simple disputes, greed, or malicious. It is in the definition and the blood of this country to be greedy, to take, and to steal, and to kill. And we continue to push that on. And I hear a lot of people talk about, you know, using the Bible and using spiritual things by that. Listen, the entire point of us as a human race is to push out love. These things push out and provide and fuel hate. But let's just call it a spade, but nobody wants to think like that. Nobody wants to talk like that because it makes sense.
So are you planning on running again for District 49?
Yes, of course. My goal is to find another candidate that I trust and feel confident with to run up against my Sparks. But if that does not happen, then absolutely I will have a team that will help me. You know, I already do have a team, and they will continue to help me run the party, and I will run my campaign. I feel as though it's extremely important that we have a candidate that can come out here and make some change, and that's not afraid to ruffle any feathers, because it's that time.
Yes.
And we already have one person that has made history, Ms. Hope Oliver. She's one of the first black reps one of the first county commission, and she's doing an amazing job. I need to find someone that can get out there and help her, because people don't know it's the local level that makes the difference. It's the local votes that makes the difference. We're not just voting for the president. You have to vote for people that actually make the laws for the state that you live in.
That's right. That's true. Let's talk about Senate Bill 3 that Governor Bill Lee signed, anti-trans health, this anti-drag show thing. What is your perspective on that?
I mean, it's ridiculous. We can ban drag. Drag is so scary for people. Makeup, wigs, and short skirts and lip syncing is killing kids more than guns are, apparently. It's ridiculous. It's crazy, but it's also discrimination. Like, it's just crazy to me that we can go as far as was meant to protect kids from stuff that they see on the internet, from stuff that they talk about at school, from stuff that they see on TikTok, from stuff that they buy at the store. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It's like we are censoring who is able to be expressive and how they're able to be expressive. And we're censoring things like body parts and what people want to identify as. Again, it doesn't make sense. There are a few things that I think are gray lines. Example, when you're talking about permanent body change or complete transition, I do think that a child needs to be of age, meaning 18, because those are permanent things, just like when you get a tattoo. You have to make sure that you are ready and that this is for sure what you want, and kids are absolutely impulsive. So I do agree with that. I do think that there should be an age limit until a kid is for sure that this is what they want to do for the rest of their lives.
Right.
Same with that's permanent, has an age limit, you know. But aside from that, I'm sorry.
I was just about to say you hit the nail on the head with that. Like, I agree that they should be able to do whatever they want to do. They should even be able to give their health insurance or life insurance policies. They trying to block that. My thing is, what I don't agree with is gays in the LGBT community adopting kids. And the reason why is just because of what you said. The natural order is male and female. And when I say natural order, what I mean is you can reproduce from that. You can't reproduce from man and man. You can't reproduce from woman and woman. But you still have the right to do whatever pleasure you feel like in the comfort of your home. Even at the park, you want to kiss your gay lover, that's fine. And the reason why I say that is just because of what you said about how kids are influenced, so they should be of a certain age before they can change their body parts, because they have to have that conscious decision that this is permanent.
Yeah. So I, of course, have a different perspective of that with my social work background. But even before then, one of my very good friends, her mom is gay. She, you know, dated women, whatever. And I, of course, like, my mom is super religious. She's very much like, she felt very uncomfortable even with me, like, staying the night over there, right? And so, like, of course, me and my friend have a conversation about this, and I just asked her, I was like, is it even any different? And she was like, no, it is not. I don't feel any different. I know what I like. I know who I want to be with. My parents don't influence me. I feel loved, and that's all that matters to me. And then to take it a step further, in her eyes, her father is not there. This other person, her mom's partner, is the person who is supporting her, is the person who's being there for her. And most people think in the aspect of uncomfortableness, yeah, you're going to have a little bit of uncomfortableness, but so do mixed couples, so do interracial couples and things like that. But at the end of the day, what it is can that child be loved? Can that child be provided for? Can that child grow up and have all the tools that they need to be successful? And the answer is yes.
Okay, I threw a good one out there for you. I got you. I love it. You seem like the right person for this job, and I want to congratulate you again. This guy, Lieutenant Governor Randy McNally. Now, he was caught sending lewd message to a gay man, and that's another thing. These Republicans, man, they really anti-gay this, anti-gay that, and then it comes out later on that they have gay lovers and all kinds of stuff going on. Do you think he should resign?
I mean, if we're expelling people for coming on the floor and protesting, then absolutely, yeah. And the only reason that I say that is because of this. At what point do we start to hold them the same accountable that they hold us? We, as minorities, as Dems, as anybody that's not cis white men, do not get the same respect. And I'm saying that even for white women. you do not get the same respect. You do not get to decide what you do with your body. You do not get to decide how you process or what it is that you want to do if you are pregnant or if you're raped. You can't tell me that people are not compromising their own personal morals, and the excuses, well, God, or the excuses, well, the church. Listen, I love the church. I love my God. I know my God better than what everybody else is doing. I know who my God is, and so I tell people all the time, if you have a hell or heaven to place somebody in, then you go right ahead. But if you don't, then you don't get to judge. And that's just a fact. Your job as a kingdom person or as a believer of God is to spread love. We might decide to celebrate or worship God in different ways, but at the end of the day, that's what it is. We are not here to tell people, hey, you have to have a kid. Hey, this traumatic experience happened to you. Your loved one or somebody in your family raped you, molested you, treated you whatever kind of way, and guess what? You get to think about that for the next 9 months and the next 18 years plus. People don't think about that. And it's just at another level. So when you're talking to me about a rep that is having to hide who he is because he will not be considered the same or given the same respect by his peers, I think that it is important that he look within and decide what it is that he's compromising, as well as these other reps. That's the same thing that I say when it comes about these school shootings. How much blood is really on their guys' hand every day that you sit up here and make these ridiculous laws and rules that do nothing but target people who are different.
Yeah, well, it goes deeper than him just sending lewd messages. He was courting this guy since he was 17.
Right.
Yeah. So that's really a crime. You can't court a child, even if you don't have sex with them till they turn 18. You can't court them like that underage. So I think he should resign also, but they trying to cover him. Put the circle of wagons with him.
Yeah, if you listen to Justin Jones' speech when he got up there and spoke about the expulsion, he called out a few different things that were going on the floor. People that have been under a federal investigation, currently under federal investigation, being accused of molestation, just like you said, statutory rape. All of those things are on the floor. However, that good old boy system keeps them safe. It keeps them able to be hypocritical. It keeps them able to be cowardly, and it keeps them in the position of power. We have to find a way to change that. We have to find a way to keep fighting. And I think what Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, and Gloria Johnson did was just the beginning of what needs to happen.
Okay, we're going to take this last commercial break, and when we get back, we're going to talk about moving forward and some of the things you guys have going on in Rutherford County.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
And we're back with the Daily Read. On the phone we have Morgan Woodberry, the first black elected chair of the Rutherford County Democratic Party. And right now I would like to ask you, what are their plans on reinstating both the Justins back into the Congress? Because they still can run again.
Yeah. Justin Pearson won a special election from jump. So we have a lot of faith that their county commission, and this is why it's so important that we vote locally, but we have a lot of faith that their county commission will reinstate them, which they have the ability to do. Same thing with Justin Jones. it was a big worry about Gloria Johnson, about what Knox County would do. So we were really happy that constituents were able to come together and keep her on the floor. But outside of that, we are playing a waiting game. The state party is, of course, in support, and we're working on a few things. I don't want to give out too much, but we are for sure working on some things, and we have a lot of faith that the local county commissions will reinstate them.
Okay. As far as Rutherford County go, anything you want to tell the audience that's coming up within the next couple of months that you guys are doing?
Yeah, we've got a few things coming up. We're having a Tribute Tuesday coming up this month, and I will post about that. You guys can follow me on Facebook. It's just Morgan Woodberry, like Wood and Berry, Berry. Feel free to add me. We also have a Rutherford County Facebook page. It's Rutherford County Democratic Party. And we are doing a garden party. Our Rutherford County Democratic women are putting on a garden party May 20th. So definitely buy tickets. We are raffling off a bunch of different things. We're doing silent auction, and those are a bunch of different ways that we fundraise and make money. We are also going to be putting out some shirts and having some shirt designs and things like that for people to buy and do. And we are also having a monthly meeting starting in May. So yeah, I will post the dates for those things. And if you guys want to join the Facebook group, you're more than welcome to, and hopefully we will have a podcast coming soon so I can start sending that out to you all, and you guys will have one easily accessible place to come find out some information.
Yes, and I would definitely be helping with that. Definitely. Anytime you need me, I got you. But I really enjoyed this talk with you, and iHeartRadio gives me an hour, so but we run it right up on the clock. But I enjoyed talking to you, and again, congratulations, and I look forward to working with you guys. Also, like I said, I'll be all over the country, so we connecting won't be hard to other Democrat parties,
Okay.
representatives. It won't be hard. So, look out for this woman right here, you guys. You remind me of the woman that came out of Atlanta. What is her name? It's on the tip of my tongue.
Stacey.
Yeah, Stacey Abrams. That's her name. You one of those firebrands to me, and that's why I had to put you on Hidden Gems of America, because I can see big things coming with you in the next 2 years, and I'll be voting for you again if you run again. So I want to thank you. Go ahead, you get the last word.
I was just saying I really appreciate that, and I pray and hope that I could do half the work that Stacey Abrams did. I appreciate you looking at me in that light.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, this is the Daily Read, our special edition, Hidden Gems of America. You guys stay tuned.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Bringing the business.